War usually makes us think of tanks, bombs, and soldiers charging into battle. But in World War II, there was one military unit unlike any other. Their weapons were not rifles or cannons, but inflatable tanks, giant speakers, fake radio signals, and pure imagination. This was the Ghost Army, a top-secret unit of artists, actors, designers, and sound engineers whose mission was not to kill, but to deceive. The story began in 1944. After D-Day, the Allies were pushing into Europe, but German forces were still dangerous. The US Army realized they needed a new weapon: deception. If they could trick the enemy about troop movements, they could save lives and gain ground. So they created a special unit called the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, later nicknamed the Ghost Army. Instead of traditional soldiers, this unit included painters, set designers, sound engineers, and even young artists who would later become famous. Their battlefield was not trenches, but illusions. What made the Ghost Army unique was its equipment. They carried life-sized inflatable tanks and artillery, which could be set up in just hours. From the sky, they looked real. To enemy scouts, they were convincing enough to be reported as genuine divisions. But visuals alone were not enough. The unit also had trucks equipped with huge speakers that blasted pre-recorded sounds of marching boots, rumbling tanks, and shouting officers, so loud that they could be heard from more than 15 miles away. To make the deception complete, radio operators transmitted fake signals to imitate the chatter of entire divisions. Sight, sound, and signals combined to create the illusion of an army that didn't exist. One of their most famous operations happened before the Allies crossed the Rhine River in 1945. The plan was to secretly move real troops to one location, while distracting the Germans elsewhere. The Ghost Army set up a fake armored division, complete with rubber tanks, dummy camps, and booming sound effects. German scouts believed the deception and reported a massive buildup of Allied forces. Meanwhile, real divisions moved across the Rhine in another sector, catching the enemy by surprise. That operation alone is believed to have saved thousands of lives. What made it even more remarkable was the people behind the deception. Many of them were artists before the war. They used paint, fabric, and wood to build illusions, sometimes even sketching shadows on inflatable tanks to make them appear heavier and more realistic. It was like a traveling circus of deception, moving from one town to another, creating armies out of thin air. Yet, despite the absurdity, it was dangerous work. If the Germans had discovered the trick, these men had little to defend themselves. Their rifles were real, but their tanks could be destroyed with a single knife. After the war, the Ghost Army's operations were kept secret. For decades, almost no one outside the military knew that artists and actors had played such a strange role in defeating Hitler. It was only in the 1990s that the US government finally declassified the mission, and veterans began to tell their incredible stories of painting fake vehicles, blasting sound effects, and living in the strange space between art and war. Today, historians estimate that the Ghost Army's illusions saved between 15,000 and 30,000 lives. It may sound absurd, but it worked. Their story reminds us that war is not only about strength, but also about creativity. Sometimes paintbrushes and inflatable tanks can be just as powerful as bullets. The Ghost Army feels like something from a movie, but it was real. A group of artists turned deception into a weapon, and in doing so, they helped change the course of history.